When we talk LL Cool J, is there some advice he gave you early on that you can still use to this day?
A lot of times, especially in that particular era, it wasn't so much what dudes said; it was like what they did. And me, like, being, I always wanted to be a fly on the wall. You didn't want to be a nag to people, man. Like now it's a little different. Like a lot of us have gotten more into the mentor lane, and we understand what that means. And some of the younger generation, at least the smart ones, they don't, they realize that you have to have a mentor and things of that nature. But back then, it was like all about being cool. So you didn't want to ask the dude too many questions and annoy him. You kind of wanted to be the fly on the wall and just pick up as you went along and be receptive as possible so you could get the right jewel. So it wasn't so much of what people said, but more so what they did and having the opportunity to watch them off camera and off record and get the real, for lack of a better term, raw shit.
Okay. So what's something LL Cool J did where you're like, damn, that's awesome or that's incredible?
Um, One time I was at a show at the Beacon Theater in Manhattan, and LL was I saw LL watching. Kane and LL had a show together, but this is around the time when we're at the Beacon Theater, and LL is the headlining act. So Big Daddy Kane is opening for LL, but LL had Walking with the Panther album out, which he had some top charting records on there, but unfortunately, it wasn't as a demand, or it wasn't as successful as his previous albums or his later albums. So, but he still was the headliner. So he has Big Daddy Kane opening for him. And obviously around this time I know Kane very well, but I was with L. So I'm watching L watch Kane perform, and I'm seeing his face that he's like, oh shit, he's worried. He's concerned. And I never seen L, like I watched L from a distance, and I had the blessing and like to watch him up close. Once I got to know him when Marley started recording the Mama Said Knock You Out album, and we kind of lived together in Marley's house. So I had the benefit of watching him up close as well, and not just from a distance as a fan. So I saw in L's face that he was worried, and that concerned me because I'm like, yo, yeah, LL, yo, how the fuck are you scared? But it taught me something, and it taught me, to always be on point, to never sleep. It also taught me because obviously after that, LL, he 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 made a decision to reign and rise up again. And that's very important to me. Like I respect ambition. Ambition is a very powerful tool, and from that examples among many, I learned ambition and how to yield it and channel it.
So when we talk about the greatest rappers of all time, a lot of people jump to Pac, to Big, rightfully so. They're incredible. But can we officially say LL Cool J is definitely in that category as a GOAT?
Of course, I mean it would be a crime for us to say LL was not one of the greatest of all time. That's
Look at
insane.
his
But
catalog. Yeah.
a lot of times it's based on a person's perspective of what greatness is, and your level of greatness may be of a lower standard to mine, but again it's your opinion. But when I think of greatness, I take in different standards and categories, not just the body of work, obviously in the course of time that you've been able to maintain your quote unquote greatness, but a lot of things come into play, like what era you came out in and what competition you were up against. Because it's easy to be great. It's easy to be if you're a Jordan and there's no competition really, or a certain level of competition.
Yep.
LL aspired to that greatness when he's had some fierce competition against him.